LeBron was, quote, activated last night in a big comeback win against the Rockets. He finished with 29 points, 11 rebounds, and after the game said the team took a step in the right direction. They are now 2.5 games behind the Clippers for the 8th seed, but the Kings are also in their way. Sacramento lost a thriller to the Warriors last night. And Draymond Green even said, quote, they're probably the fastest team in the history of the NBA.
The what?
They're putting it all
history of the
together.
NBA. What?
The fastest team. That's what he said.
He said that?
Just a quote. You need all the information around here. We are joined now by Rob Parker.
Are you done with your? Good morning.
Yeah.
Done with your prelim?
Yeah, my warm-up act.
Warm-up. What? Chris Broussard.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Now you got the real stuff to deal with. I'm here, ready to go.
Well, you have said that you believe the Lakers will miss the playoffs. So, Rob, after what you saw last night, have you changed your opinion?
No way, no how.
Look at that.
Come on, Skip. You know I haven't changed my opinion.
You should have. After
and wait a minute. That was a big win. And you know the one thing I do, I never poo-poo winning. You win the game, I'm going to give you credit for that, okay? Right. So I'm not one of those guys where I'm going to say it didn't matter or it wasn't legit. They won. They won against a good team at home, and they did what they had to do. But this whole activated LeBron, Skip, help me out. Against the Hawks, he had 28, 16, and 11. And in this game, he had 29, 6 assists, and 11 rebounds. So that was like, to me, that was average LeBron. That wasn't anything special.
Well, the first half was below average, right? Because he was deactivated in the first half.
And you would have looked and went, I mean, don't tell me everybody feels good after the fact, because I always say, winning is the best makeup that you could have. It covers up everything. So when you win, people forget about the first 3 quarters or 2.5 quarters and go, oh, they won, they're moving on, they're great, they're going to the Western Conference Finals. That's not what I got from that. And then the other part is, and I'm not making an excuse, Skip. In the last 20 minutes of the game, 17-0 in free throws. 17-0. And I just had to, like, let me put my glasses on. You know I never wear my glasses. But I had to go look on the box score just to make sure that Tim Donaghy wasn't the official in this game.
Checking.
Because Skip, I don't care who you are and how good you are and what kind of players you have. You don't go to the foul line, you don't get any free throws in the last 20 minutes of a ball game, you're not going to win on the road in the NBA. And their 2 biggest stars were fouled out. James Harden, 3 fouls in the first and 3.5 minute span. Then the second 3.
I thought they were all legit, but go ahead.
But I'm just saying, Skip.
Okay, he's the most protected superstar in NBA
all right, but
history.
don't change it now because you're trying to help the Lakers get to the playoffs.
So
that's all I'm saying.
Don't call it objectively for one night. I don't know.
Not one night when you let him get away with it all the other nights.
Okay,
so if you're telling me that he's getting 6 fouls every night and he gets away with it, then you should be calling him every night.
You understand, he shot 81 more free throws than any other player in the league.
Not
81.
last night, so they were trying to nuke. Which one? Okay. And here's the biggest story of the night. The biggest story didn't even happen at Staples Center. So while you were tossing confetti and couldn't sleep last night because you were so excited.
No confetti around
here. No
here.
confetti, Skip?
I mean, I've won so many dinners from you. Why would I toss confetti now?
True.
Because I just won 2 more last night.
You called the game. I'll give you that. But the bigger story happened in Golden State.
It was a big story.
It's a big story. Even though the Kings lost, Skip, and they've lost all 4 that they played against the Warriors. You ready? By a total of 12 points. That speaks volumes.
And I've never heard the whole Golden State locker room just rave about another team. They never raved about the Cavaliers and all those finals the way they raved about the Kings last night.
And that's because if you're waiting for them to collapse and not compete from here on out, you're going to be in for a rude awakening. And you know what? The Lakers might overtake them, but it ain't because the Kings are going to roll over and be afraid of the moment. They've played well all year, and what happened with the Warriors tells you that they're here to stay. So, yes, the Lakers got a big, important win. They're moving forward. They got a nice schedule as you look the next couple of games. They can't afford to have a misstep. At New Orleans, at Memphis, and then again New Orleans. Don't forget, New Orleans just beat OKC, and Anthony Davis is playing, although his minutes have been cut. So good win for the Lakers. They should be happy. I didn't see this unleashed LeBron or activated LeBron that everybody's talking about. And I only wish I knew about the refereeing in this game because it smelled
The fix
like
was in, says Rob
the fix
Parker.
was in a little bit to help the Lakers, who didn't look good the first couple of quarters.
A quick thought on your second comment about Sacramento. And I know most people have not quite recognized Sacramento yet, but they're legit. They're on their way. They're going to be a force in this league. I'm not sure it's going to be this year, but definitely the next 3 years, you're going to have to deal with this team. LeBron's going to have to deal with this team as yet another Western Conference roadblock to up the standings. And last night, it took Steph Curry making 10 of 16 three-pointers. Think about that. He's shooting them like they're free throws.
Right.
He's a better three-point shooter to me than LeBron's a free throw shooter, right? I mean, he just flicks them like flick of the wrist. He makes 10 of 16, and it took all 10 of them to hold off this team. Because this team, Marvin Bagley, is just playing out of his mind. He had 28 and 14 last night. Again, they got firepower, and they are a fast team. I don't know if they're the fastest team in the history of the league.
Draymond might have been a little stretch on that one.
He might have been stretched on that one. But back to the Lakers. I'm going to say this again. I still can't believe that Dell Demps and whoever was making the decisions in New Orleans would not take a package. If this was in fact offered, and I believe that it was because it was widely reported, they could have had Kuzma and Ingram and Lonzo and Big Zoo, who's now a Clipper, obviously, and maybe even Josh Hart thrown in. And by the way, Josh Hart last night played 18 minutes, and he had a plus 22 plus minus, which was by far the best on the Lakers.
He
was really good. He
didn't score that many points.
He only played 4 points, but he was there making lots of defensive plays. And they did a real defense. I know James got his 30 last night. Somebody on this show predicted 60. We'll get to that a little later.
Yeah, a little later.
Really
right.
I forget what's that guy's name? Rappaport, that guy?
Well, he just didn't realize that the referees were going to give him 3 fouls in the first quarter,
okay.
I didn't think about that.
But the point is, New Orleans could have had all those guys plus at least a number one pick, maybe 2 number ones or other draft picks. And you turn that down just for one guy, Anthony Davis, who has never blown me away as a difference maker who can lift a team by himself.
But Skip, don't you believe, though, that it's not just the package. It's the idea that the Lakers have come up to you, punched you in the face, and said, we're taking your best player.
Well, that's,
so
that's I'm sure that's out. But that's stubborn pride. Pride goeth before the fall. That's foolish pride. That's where you look back and you say, wait a second, we could have had this. On display last night, again, everybody was a little rusty. Both teams were rusty. In the first game I watched last night on TNT, Milwaukee and Boston, they couldn't make a shot because they've been off
had a
for
terrible night.
until the last couple
it mattered, right?
Until he started doing what he always does. And he got fouled on the last play of that game by little Bledsoe, a little body foul, but they're not going to call that. And he would have gone to the line, made those 2 free throws, and they would have won that game. But the point is, nobody could make a shot. But I saw flashes of all the young Lakers, and it's why they're going to make the playoffs. It's not just LeBron. He just plays point guard, and then he can defend a center like Capella because Capella's not as physical. You know, LeBron, I don't know, there was the report that he shot down and scoffed at about he weighs 280.
Yeah.
I don't know, he's somewhere up there. He's 270.
For him to even mention it, remember the way he kind of mentioned it in the thing, tells you he's conscious of what people are saying.
Somewhere up there. But he can play bully ball on Clint Capella now. So you've got that in your arsenal. JaVale McGee had 2 big blocks last night, and he usually has 4 blocks. And all the kids had flashes of brilliance to me.
Well, but the only problem is, and you're right, Ingram had a great night. Are we going to get that? Are you going to see that every night? Or is that the great night? And then against New Orleans, he has 6 points and can't make a shot. Because we've seen those nights as well.
Then Rob Pelinka made a nice little big move, and he went and got Reggie Bullock from the Detroit Pistons.
Right.
And Reggie Bullock, he's a 40% three-point shooter, and he made one with a lot of heat on last night that iced the game. He made the dagger. So you've added a nice little piece. And KCP, Caldwell Pope, he was defending James a lot and really getting up into him. He's a nice player. He's been around. He's trustable. LeBron trusts him. I'm just saying they're a pretty good team. Are they Golden State? They're not Golden State. Could they do battle with Oklahoma City and take it to 7 games? Sure they could.
But the only problem, Skip, is that those same guys you're raving about, and last night maybe they put it all together and you saw, like you said, the flashes. But those guys are the same guys that lost to the Knicks and lost to the Cavaliers at home. Those are the guys. They were there in those moments to do that. Now, obviously, they were without LeBron, but they still should have been able to win those games at home. Not on the road, at home. And I just wonder, when they go on the road, here's your missteps. Do you win both games? Do you beat New Orleans and do you beat Memphis? You can't.
They got 3 games against New Orleans,
Right.
2 of them at New Orleans.
So
New Orleans can be dangerous at home because they're playing with a lot of chips on shoulders.
right, and they're like, wait a minute. Well, you know, our season's AD just tossed a hand grenade on our season, right? So we want to prove that we're good and that he shouldn't bail out on us. And we saw the OKC win there.
So now Danny Ferry has taken over the Pelicans, and he admitted to the media yesterday, we're going to reduce Anthony's minutes. We're going to play him, but lower minutes. And we're going to also reduce Drew Holiday's minutes. And the point is, I think he's just publicly saying, we are tanking. That's how it came across to me.
Well, did they?
What good does it do them to do anything but tank?
Crazy.
Did they tell the fans, can they tank on the ticket prices?
Nope,
Yeah.
they did
If
not.
I
They get
paid
their
season
tickets back?
tickets, I would be demanding a refund. And
Yeah.
I think fans get always worked over in these situations where I paid $500 or whatever it is for a ticket, Skip, and you're telling me you're going to tank? I didn't pay for that.
So obviously they weren't as good without LeBron James because he's still a top 2 player in this league. I think Kevin Durant's a little better. But again, I don't know if LeBron is going to start running out of gas if he is activated too early, because he does in his 16th year have to pace himself. But they're going to need to win all 3 New Orleans games. And if they do, they're going to make the playoffs. I think they are, but I don't think they can rise up to the 7 and catch San Antonio, which has an interesting game tonight at Toronto. We're going to discuss that later against that guy who quit on them last year, but I won't don't get me started on that.
Did he quit? Or?
Yeah. Oh, he's flat down. He shut it down. Yeah, he tanked. He tanked his whole season. He tanked his way right out of town and all the way
Right out of the country.
Yeah, right out of the country. He did. He the North now.
He
yeah,
did.
way to go. And whether he's going to play tonight is anybody's guess, because you never know whether he's going to play a game or not.
But here's the other problem with the Lakers, is that they did such a poor job when LeBron wasn't there. They just don't have enough wiggle room. This is because you just brought it up. There's going to be a misstep somewhere along the line with one of these bad teams, and that could wind up. Remember what I told you. The last 5 games of the year, all against playoff teams.
There's some. I think 3 of 5 are at home.
Right,
like.
but it's still tougher teams
They got
to
Utah
play.
and Portland at home.
So you need to do work coming up, because after this little stretch where they got some cupcakes on the schedule, they do have to play the Clippers, they do play Denver, and they do play Boston. So it's not the cakewalk. Did they win game 1 to save their season? Yes, they did. But is their season officially moving forward to the playoffs? I don't think so.
I think so. I think I got